that?
Got half an hour.
Oh. I just made that. So, first item, we have the confirmation of the minutes from the 3rd of March. Seems like a different world back then than it is now. Page 5. Recommendations there, take as read and confirmed minutes. Any changes, corrections, questions pertaining to those? Any? I'm happy to move those. Could I have a second, please? Thank you, Paul. All those in favour, please say aye.
Oh.
Yes. Sorry. Item number 2, confirmation of the CDM key minutes, 7th of May. We're receiving and confirming them. Is that a bit of a change? Change to that? Okay. So receive the minutes and adopted the recommendations there. What's that? Right. Oh, just receive. Go. I have a move, please. I'll second all those in favour, please say aye.
Aye.
Against? There are none. National Emergency Management Agency update, page 17.
Sure, Chair. Thank you very much. I'll take the report as being read. Just a couple of key points and also another update to be provided. With regards to the update on the government reform and the EM bill, we're still expecting the Select Committee to receive the report that is due to be delivered on the 9th of June. We're still expecting the bill to then go through that remaining legislative stages during this term of Parliament. Also, in addition to that, I just want to highlight that any substantive changes that the new emergency bill could make has been published onto our website with 8 information sheets. So they are available, so just encourage you and Keg to have a look at those, at that possibility. Just also in relation to the government's recent announcement on simplifying local government, so NEMA will continue to work with colleagues across government to understand the implications of the those changes and to ensure alignment, and will also be ready to respond to those changes as and when they are made through DIA going forward. Recently as well, I believe last week on the 27th of May, Minister Mitchell made an announcement. New technology means safer communities. That's on the Beehive website now. So through the Emergency Management Sector Operational Systems Programme, which will be delivered funding. So MSOS is essentially a once-in-a-generation opportunity to uplift operational technology systems for our EM sector. There's going to be 4 key technology solutions being looked at. A foundational data platform that consolidates key national, regional and local data sets. A sector data and visualization tool, which will be a common operating platform, and some additional operational tools to aid CDEM groups and resources to manage during response and recovery. There'll also be an upgrade to our national warning system as well. So NEMA is also undertaking a number of roadshows. I'm quite pleased that Taranaki will be one of those roadshows a week on Monday, I should say. So it's obviously important that the group and the group office is fully engaged on those roadshows. So I'm really pleased that we're going to be one of the first ones to participate. The other aspect I just want to bring to your attention, which is on the update, is we've got a nationwide test that's taking place on the 14th of June. That's between 6 and 7 p.m. It's a test of the emergency mobile alert system. So that's an annual test that we do every year, and that will be taking place on next Sunday. And that's it for my key updates.
Will that be the one that everyone gets something on their phone?
Yes, that's the one.
Silent, they always go so well.
Yeah.
Any questions?
Yeah. Thank you. Perhaps just an observation on page 18 of the agenda, or 19, sorry, of the agenda, there's a map there of New Zealand. And in advance of that, there was some narrative there saying about the frequency and the number of storms and the severity of them. I think this year we're at 16 districts, it says in there, that were in recovery mode, and 21 states of emergency call. But when we look at that map, it's notably orange everywhere other than Taranaki, which means we've just absolutely dodged a bullet. And so while I'm not complaining about that, the reality is that over time we're going to bring that average back, and we're going to have a little trot there somewhere where it's going to catch up. So are we genuinely prepared for a sustained number of events? Because statistics tell us that that's what's going to happen somewhere, because it won't just stay like that forever. So.
Can you answer that? Yeah, look, I believe we are ready to respond to any event. How the duration and period of that event will dictate how long we can survive for, like any region in New Zealand, because there's only about 400 CDM professionals across the country, which is 200 at NEMA and about 200 dispersed through the regional councils and the district councils. So relying heavily on each other. So in my report, I'll talk about some of our staff that we've deployed over recent times. But our systems and our capability that we have is pretty good. I think we're in a really, really good position. Noting, and I think I reported last in the KEG, the Insurance Council report, there's an event causing disruption every 8 days now in New Zealand, basically, after that new Insurance Council report. So, it's one a week is what we're seeing. So it's be our turn at some point.
Just on that, noting that it's a short thing that will be a super this year. Have you any thoughts or any understanding of what that might mean for us? Well, for the country and for us specifically.
Yeah, I guess I'm not a meteorologist, but I think we'll return to a little bit of, I don't want to say normal Taranaki weather, but that westerly pattern again, like we've seen the dry, the dry in the east, but we'll still see droughts in the South Taranaki region for us with that wind effect and stuff like that. And I think we'll see more of these rain events that we're going to get, although they are saying dry at the moment. But yeah.
With these El Niños, they've been the ones that are constant sou'westers, haven't they?
Yeah.
Go right into summer, right into surf season.
Yeah. So moving away from that easterly flow, which we've seen over the last couple of years, that easterly flow that brings that moisture into the east coast and dry here, so there'll just be a little bit of a change in there.
I'd just add, obviously, just in general, on behalf of the director, that if you do have any events, NEMA will stand ready to support the group, and obviously we'll pull in resources as and when required, which is what we've done over the last few events. As Todd noted, we've had a number, I think it's 21 declarations we've had since January alone.
Is that the most ever?
Probably, yes.
Yeah, in 5 months, that's 20. Essentially, it's actually 4 to 5 months, 21 declarations. So it's quite a number of declarations.
I guess the concern is if we're in kind of catch-up mode as we are, in that sense that not only will we have an event, we will have not several, and they'll overlap. And when we talk to our colleagues on the East Coast, and they're having the next event and they haven't recovered from the one before or the one before that, it's a compounding effect, and each time you get more and more vulnerable. So, it's pessimistic, but sooner or later that's going to change, right?
I wouldn't be so pessimistic. The statistics don't necessarily work like that. Each month's a blank slate. You've got just as much chance of it happening to you as you did the month before it goes, whether you've had it or not. So, the same. Does anyone else have anything?
Yeah, thanks, Chair. You know, it's interesting, and I've made comment of this before, and I appreciate your reassurance that we're ready to go, Todd, should there be something, and I'm certainly not doubting that in any way. But, I mean, for us in South Taranaki, we haven't had a big event, and I hope to hell touch wood I'm not jinxing anything, for 11 years. Since the flooding down in Waitota. I stand to be corrected, but I think that's right. And I mean, it always just worries me. What I did say last time I talked on this is, whilst we've had some good exercises and all those things we've done, the best exercise is the real thing. And so I certainly hope the next one, whatever it might be, isn't a big one, because there will be a test of services that hasn't happened for 11 years, despite all the good work that you guys do. So, I mean, it always worries me in the back of my mind that, you know, just how prepared are we when we haven't been tested? And unfortunately, it doesn't matter, you know, you're talking 21 so far this year. Every one of them is different. They're same, but different, and there's new learnings every time. And so, yeah, we in some ways are behind the 8 ball in more ways than one, but it's probably a good statistic to be that we haven't had that.
We've, as much as we haven't had a significant event really, I mean, probably Cyclone Gita, maybe Dovi, Waitangi Day floods. We've had a few ones that last, you know, 3, 4, 5 days, maybe a little bit longer. We have deployed staff out of councils and out of Team O2 events. Rest assured, and it's hard to quantify this, but when the staff go away and they go up north and lead the recovery, or go to the slip at the landslide at Mount Maunganui and lead the recovery there, or the work, coming back, a lot of the staff realise actually some of the processes and policies or the documentation that we have in place is actually pretty sound compared to what some of the other regions go. So as much as that's a hard measure, the learnings that the team bring back from being deployed and go, actually, we're here, we're a little bit further forward, even though it hasn't been stress tested for an actual event. So that's the one thing that gives me confidence that I know the team have got experience, they've seen other regions operate, and bringing back that and implementing it into our systems, or taking the good or going, this didn't work, let's remove that. So that's the only measure I can really say.
No, that's good. Thanks, Todd.
So the recommendations there on page 17 to receive the memorandum.
Move.
Thank you. Second, please.
Second.
Thank you. All those in favour, please. Aye.
Aye.
There are none. Item number 4, annual plan.
Thank you. I've actually got my senior planner here, Erica Malloy, if there is any questions on that, but it's that time coming up to the end of the financial year. So this is our new annual plan for 26-27, and aligning to the group plan that we put through last year. So the previous annual plan wasn't quite aligned to the new group plan that we approved. So this is just tweaking that and aligning to that group plan. So if there's any questions or any comments, I'm probably going to throw to Erica on that. And I probably should say that there are stuff in here that we are kind of maybe preempting a little bit of stuff from the legislation change, but not totally. So you'll get that through an LTP submission through me. Around some of the stuff that we'll need to preempt in future years' work, but given we'll have a grace period around that shift, when the new bill or legislation comes out, it'll probably be another annual plan, or it'll reflect some of that change.
I'll be turn a phrase a little bit-ish.
A little
Can I
bit.
use that? Do you want?
You can.
I need it. Any questions about annual plan? Anybody? Happy? Good. Recommendations, page 50, A through to E. Over. Thanks, Bob. I'll second that. All those in favour, please say aye.
Aye.
Yes. Budget. Oh, item number 5.
Thank you. So key thing around the budget stuff is there is a proposal to shift our ECC development debt to a 25-year term, which we've talked about with the CEs as well, just to reduce that capital debt repayment that's been causing issues over the last couple of years, to help ease that load. Also in that discussion there, be aware that I've signed a partnership agreement with Tupuni Ngā Bahu, which is Ngā Iwi o Taranaki, so we're job sharing a community resilience role, which is another cost savings, and plus we've actually downsized, or not downsized is the wrong word, we've not replaced a team lead at Timo to help reduce some of those costs. So the role still exists, we just didn't replace or recruit, just to help some of those cost measures going forward, to keep the budget pretty much the same. What I have factored in there is a small increase of about 3%, which is slightly below CPI, and you'll see in the discussion document there under 19 what that reflects as in council, what the increase is there. So a minimal increase just to increase for inflation across the ongoing costs for goods, I guess, and services. The only budget line that wasn't increased, if we looked at a P&L, is the salary, because of reduced the outgoings in that, with not replacing one role and job sharing with iwi or Taranaki as well. So
just got two questions. One, just in regard to the loan, I take it that what you've done there is you just lengthened the term of the loan.
Yep.
You haven't changed the amount.
No.
And that's just to reduce the liability each year. Is that how it
Yep.
works?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. And what was it before? If it's 25 now.
What was the
What was the term?
20? I think it was split actually. Sorry, it was all over the show, because what happened with the building development, it goes back to about 2018, and there's a whole lot of different sums spread out, and varying loan rates or varying terms basically. So we've kind of lumped it all together of what it is and spread that whole ECC development, because it was done over multiple years, and then over multiple financial years, and this, because of COVID delays, there's several different sums in the capital spreadsheet.
Okay, thank you. And then just I see a comment. It's good to see that the increase that you've proposed here is reasonable, in the sense it's 3% or so. Excuse me, but that's good. But also just to remind ourselves that council's ability to fund all activities, including civil defence, is going to be restricted severely by the capping, and so this sort of 3% increase this year is probably going to be not much different than future years as well.
Yeah.
So unless other funding sources are found or some miracle happens, but it's going to have a constraint effect on everything, and civil defence is not one of those things that's been talked about that would feel a pinch, but it flows that it will.
Yeah.
Just on that point, and probably this will be you, Steve, than Todd. So something like civil defence, you've got this fund that's split 40% MPDC, 34% TRC, 18% South Taranaki, 8% Stratford. In the very near future, there will not be a TRC. Does that mean that the 34% TRC funds would go to whatever is left? What's the thinking around
It's
that?
an agreed, some of it historically agreed regional formula.
Yeah.
But
So-
TRC doesn't exist.
Well, whatever councils exist afterwards will they agree on a formula to split
Come
up,
up with another one.
come up with another one, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Then just coming back to the budget issue though, the important piece to remember, I think the Treasury estimates were 900,000 extra nationally, 893 isn't it? Nationally to implement the new legislation on local government?
I'm not 100% sure.
It's in that order though. 83 million.
83 million.
83 million.
Over a 4-year
Over a
period.
4-year
years,
period.
yeah.
So another $20 million divided by 72 councils, 60 odd councils, gives you the number of Treasury estimates of the cost increases to implement the new bill, which will need to be managed through the system somehow.
Will the rates go?
Well, civil defence is a rates funded activity, it's general public benefit. So yes, so I think key point is just be aware of the cost of the legislative change that's coming. And Parliament said they had the Treasury advice on that, so it's pretty clear that there's a reasonable bill. And Todd's done some initial, he did a couple of models,
Yep.
which I can't remember the quite results of, Todd, but
Oh, yeah, so I've done them basically of a split, it's 82.4 million, and there's a hybrid model where you split it through 16 groups, then percentage of population, so I think we're about 2.3% of the population in New Zealand. Comes out if we're just a progressive implementation of the stuff, not a full go hog, we're about 700,000 to $1 million a year over the 4 years, and then some of that becomes operational. I will probably, this is not signed and sealed at the moment, but I'm already looking at how we can soften that below, and I've met with a couple of an organisation this morning around some of the requirements are going to be with the bill till we can partnership and actually, need to soften the blow basically. So I'm looking at that stuff now and anticipating that coming out. But yeah, there'll be $1 million in the long-term plan stuff that I'm submitting, and Steve's seen the initial workings I did. I'll submit that and I'll probably send it out pretty soon. My initial thinkings. So you can comment and feedback, and then we can tweak and adjust so that it's ready to go for long-term plan.
Correct me if I'm wrong, if you're just saying there that this will cost an additional up to $1 million a year for 4 years, I think I read in here somewhere that the current budget's about $2 million, is it? You're talking about a 50% increase in civil defence costs.
Yeah. This is...
Under race cap.
And
And do that inside a 4% rates cap.
Yeah.
Yep.
This is what we've been directed, and there's no, at the moment we've just been told a figure by MEMA Treasury, but there's no other guidance on it. We're kind of going like this. Okay, I'll come up with the hybrid model around percentage and groups and figure out, but we know the criteria, the uplift of criteria that they're targeting given the report out of Sajura Mataparai report from the weather event Gabrielle.
Just put this on the list of unfunded mandates and live with it. Is that how we do it? It's crazy.
Great.
I'm glad I asked. Not. Bring it up to.
Okay, any further discussion around the budget? So the recommendations are on page 51, A through to F. I need a mover. Okay. Yes, all that's fine. All right. Item number 6.
Thank you.
Quarterly report.
I'll start with the good news to start with. Look, currently at the moment, as you're probably aware, I'm trying to be very frugal and manage the budget, so we are still sitting at a surplus at the end of quarter 3 with 180,000. Please note that does not have the capital debt repayment taken out of it, which because it's not in the P&L, it's why it's been done as end of year, so that will come down significantly. Other good things about, I've talked about staff deployment. I had the team all over the place, and I'll mention the likes of Craig Campbell-Smart as one of the keys there. His expertise in that recovery field has been used with the slips at Mount Maunganui, leading and developing that program up in Northland, and so forth. So that's valuable for that with all those learnings, etc. Just a couple of other notes as well. I've talked about staff changes. We also ran a really good exercise with New Plymouth District Council at the TSB Bowl of Brooklands around an event there, a concert event, which was some great learnings, pretty successful with all the volunteers. The other noting for me was the volcanic field trip, those that come on. The feedback has been amazing, and to the point we've submitted a proposal to Steve at EPDC around it being put into the local government conference as an option if LGNZ so desire that we run that, and the scientists are on board for coming up and hosting that again. So pretty good that we've got that kind of group. And I think that would be generally the quick highlights of it, unless there's something I've missed or other questions.
Thanks, Chair. Not a question, just a comment. You've just talked about that volcanic field trip. I found that really interesting. I learned one hell of a lot more about our previous volcanic history and what that is telling us about what we have coming. The only thing was lacking was a date when it's coming. But no, that was really interesting, real eye-opener. It was a fantastic day, it really was. So thank you for organising it and running that.
Unfortunately, that's another thing that suffers with the funding cuts. That science project that we did with Whamangapua and the scientists is now sort of shrunk in size, their funding pool, but we're still working with Canterbury and Massey and Auckland on our maunga.
Yep.
Okay, any other questions? With that, have your second one.
Yes.
All those in favour, please say aye. Against, there are none. Item number 7. Updating some terms of reference. Very good, guys.
This is just a general tidy up of the terms of reference, and we've aligned a lot of our advisory groups. As you know, we have about 7 advisory groups that help formulate some of the plans we do and connecting across multiple networks to provide resilience through Taranaki. So this is really a fairly rats and mice, just a bit of an update and a tidy up of some of those terms of reference to get the most out of those groups. So I don't think there's anything controversial in there. They don't have budget. They can't make any ad hoc decisions that are going to impact us. But they do provide us with a really good tool of information and a connection to other communities.
Tidy up. I'll move those sequence, please. So all those in favour, please say aye.
Aye.
And none. Item number 8. John Scott.
Yeah, this is again just a fairly straightforward. So as you know, John Scott has joined New Plymouth District Council from Clutha. Brings a wonderful amount of experience from his time down there as a local controller. So we're putting him forward to become another local controller for New Plymouth District Council, which will end up giving New Plymouth 2 local controllers with Sarah Downs and John.
Happy to move.
You should do.
He would have crucified me if I didn't.
Well done, by the sounds. All those in favour, please say aye.
Aye.
There are none. Item number 9.
Again, this is me. So as part of the work we're doing with Te Tupuni Ngā Rahu is solidifying our relationship, our working connections, and with this we've put a paper forward to bring Whare Hoko Wano onto the coordinating executive group as the CE of that organisation, so to help build those connections and that relationship through there, reaching out to the iwi Māori community. Pretty straightforward, really.
Yeah.
Happy to move.
Mover. Thanks, Neil. Seconder. All those in favour, please say aye.
Aye.
And unless there's anything else, done. Karakia to close, and then I'd, as a meal forum, we can just stay behind to talk about that other stuff. And then once we've done that, I'd like to take you through our new buildings one way out. We have time. Karakia to close.
Kia ora
ahora, ahora, alomaia, ki runga, ki raro, ki roto, ki maho, riri hau, pai mare.
Thank you.
Don't take too much of your time.
Thanks.